Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission here is, well, it's pretty simple. Take these complex sources, cut through the noise, and pull out the clearest, most powerful knowledge you can use, like right now.
And today we're talking about something that I think pretty much everyone feels on some level.
Oh, for sure. That constant, low-grade hum of just being tired all the time.
It's almost a cultural phenomenon, isn't it? We wear exhaustion like this badge of honor. It's like we think mediocre sleep is just the price you pay for being ambitious.
Right. And we think we've done all the right things. We bought the blackout curtains, we dimmed the lights, but we still feel just suboptimal.
Exactly. But what if the things really truly wrecking your sleep aren't the obvious ones?
What if there are these 6 deeply ingrained habits that you just overlook every single day? That's what we're going to unpack.
Yeah. Our sources for this deep dive are all about radical self-experimentation. Specifically, we're looking at the journey of entrepreneur Brian Johnson. He approached sleep not as some kind of luxury, but as the foundational metric for everything.
And he went from what he called miserable rest to achieving, near perfect, quantifiable sleep.
What's so striking is his conclusion about it. It wasn't just a factor in his health, it was the factor.
He made these huge changes, like we're going to talk about how he stops eating at 11:30 in the morning, all because he found high-quality sleep was the single biggest thing influencing his day-to-day reality.
He put it perfectly. He said, and I'm quoting here, "High-quality sleep has changed my life. There is literally nothing I do in my life that changes my conscious experience more than sleep."
Wow. If that's true, if nothing else moves the needle that much, then protecting those hours, it's not optional, is it?
It becomes the whole game.
So let's zero in on these 6 hidden habits you found, the things that force your body and your mind into work mode right when they need to be winding down. Let's start with the one that really begins surprisingly early.
Habit number 1. Your last meal is happening way, way too late.
This one, I know, hits close to home for so many of us. That late night snack, finishing leftovers at 9 p.m. while you're watching a show, it feels so harmless.
But physiologically, it is anything but harmless. When you eat a big meal late at night, you're basically telling your body, hey, time for some heavy lifting. Digestion is intense metabolic work.
And that causes that blood sugar spike.
A huge spike, which then leads to a crash. And this whole cascade just directly interferes with melatonin production, with thermal regulation. 2 things you absolutely need to prepare for rest.
And this is where Johnson's, his hard data really comes in. He wasn't just guessing based on how he felt.
Not at all. He found his single best predictor for sleep quality was his resting heart rate, his RHR.
Okay.
So if his RHR was in that sweet spot, say between 46 and 50 beats per minute, his sleep was near perfect. But if he ate late, that metabolic effort would push his heart rate up to 55, even 57.
And the impact was?
A measurable 30% reduction in sleep quality. It's like a direct tax on your recovery.
30% is huge. But okay, let's address the elephant in the room here. To get that optimal RHR, Johnson stops eating at 11:30 a.m.
I know.
That's over 9 hours of digestion before his 8:30 p.m. bedtime. That feels completely impossible for most people listening.
It is extreme, no question. It shows you the level of discipline we're talking about. But the key takeaway isn't that you have to stop eating at 11:30 a.m.
So what's the real lesson?
The lesson is about consistency and giving your body enough time. If you normally eat at 9 p.m., just try moving it to 6 p.m. Give yourself that buffer.
So it's about experimenting. Push it earlier by 2 hours, 3 hours, and just trust that your body will adapt to that new rhythm.
Precisely. Your body will adjust. And the reward is a system that's metabolically quiet when it's supposed to be.
Okay, so if late eating is the metabolic stress, the next habit is all about the mental side. Habit number 2, not having a work-to-rest transition. We shut the laptop and we get straight into bed.
And, of course, your brain just keeps going. You're lying there, but you're replaying conversations from the day. You're worrying about tomorrow's to-do list. You've given your mind 0 time to just settle.
This is more than just feeling a little stressed, though. It's a biological switch that's failing to flip.
That's the key. All day, we're running on our sympathetic nervous system. That's our fight-or-flight, get-it-done system. To sleep, you have to actively engage the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest one.
You can't just expect it to happen.
No, you have to trigger it. And that means avoiding anything that gets you worked up, whether it's an argument, really intense exercise, or, diving into stressful work emails.
Which is where that 60-minute transition zone he created is brilliant. At 7:30 p.m. for his 8:30 p.m. bedtime, he becomes nighttime Brian.
It sounds a bit quirky, but it's a fantastic cognitive trick. Nighttime Brian's only job is to prepare for sleep. That's it. So if a work thought pops into his head,
He doesn't engage with it.
exactly, he has a script for it, something like, "Thank you, work Brian. We have all day tomorrow to deal with this."
It's like setting a boundary with your own mind. You acknowledge the thought, but you don't give it any fuel. You're just shutting down the problem-solving machine for the night.
You're teaching your brain that this hour is off limits for stress. So the actionable tip for you is to build your own 60-minute rule.
Find something calming. Reading a real physical book, journaling, a bath, a quiet walk.
Anything that signals to your entire system, the day is done.
Okay, so shifting from the mental to the chemical. Habit 3. That afternoon coffee is still with you when you go to bed.
The science on this one is it's really unforgiving once you actually look at it. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 hours.
Which means if I have that 3 p.m. coffee to get me through the afternoon slump, and I want to go to sleep at 9 p.m.,
Then at 9 p.m., half of that caffeine is still circulating in your system, actively blocking the adenosine receptors that make you feel sleepy.
so you're basically drinking half a cup of coffee right as you're trying to fall asleep.
You are. And yeah, some people metabolize it faster than others, but for most of us, it just wrecks sleep quality. Johnson, for his part, he just cut out caffeine and alcohol completely. He called them systems that take me up and then push me down.
So for those of us not ready to go that far,
Yeah.
the tip is to find your personal cutoff time and be really strict about it.
Find it and guard it. Then you can move to the external environment. Habit 4, ignoring the huge power of evening light.
Right. We hear all the time about getting morning sunlight to set your body clock, but the flip side is just as important, isn't it?
It's critical. Blasting your eyes with a bright blue spectrum light at night is the fastest way to tell your brain, hey, it's still daytime, stay awake.
And that just kills your melatonin production.
Instantly. So the rule is pretty simple. Start dimming all your lights and shifting to warmer colors about 2 hours before bed. We're talking about that 2700 to 3500 Kelvin range. Even red light is great.
And screens are obviously the biggest problem here.
Yeah.
So what's the hierarchy of defense if you absolutely have to look at a screen?
Well, the easiest first step is software. Use things like f.lux on your computer or Night Shift on your phone to wash out the blue light. Step 2, you could get some blue light blocking glasses.
But the best option is?
The best, most effective option, according to the sources, it's to eliminate screens completely for at least an hour before bed. No contest. Go read that book instead.
So don't just filter the bad light. Get rid of the source of the bad light in the first place.
Exactly. Filters are a workaround. Elimination is the solution.
Okay, let's move into our last two areas, thermal and sound. Habit number 5 is that your bedroom temperature is actually fighting your own biology.
This is such a big one, and it gets overlooked all the time. To fall asleep and stay asleep, your core body temperature has to drop. It's a non-negotiable biological trigger.
And if your room is too warm, your body just struggles to do that.
Yeah.
Hence all the tossing and turning.
Yep. We think of warmth as cozy and comforting, but for sleep, coolness is competence. The simple fixes are, cracking a window or using good blinds to keep the room from heating up during the day.
But Johnson, of course, took this to a whole other level. He basically choreographed his nightly temperature.
He did. He used a temperature-controlled mattress to follow his body's ideal curve through all the different sleep stages.
Okay, you have to lay out that rhythm for us because it's fascinating.
It is. So the mattress starts at about 73 degrees Fahrenheit to help him relax and drift off. But as soon as he's asleep, it drops down to 69 degrees.
And that lower temperature is for?
That's for deep sleep. That's the really restorative phase, for physical repair. Then, when he cycles into REM sleep, which is more for the brain,
Let me guess, it warms back up a bit.
it does. It goes back up to around 71 or 72 degrees, and then, right before his alarm, it returns to 73 to gently signal that it's time to start waking up.
That's amazing. But I can hear people thinking, how on earth do I maintain that when I travel?
Oh.
It seems like it could make you really rigid.
And that's a totally valid point. Johnson himself admits it's a trade-off. He says creating these perfect systems at home can make being on the road a challenge. But for him, the massive daily benefit it far outweighs the occasional inconvenience. It's a choice.
That makes sense. Okay, final habit. Number 6. You are letting noise pollution win. This is the traffic, the neighbor's dog, All those sounds that you can't control.
And they cause these little subconscious wake-ups all night long that just fragment your rest, even if you don't fully remember them.
What's really interesting here is that the sources give two solutions. One is tech, and the other is just talking to people.
The human solution. It's often the most effective and the one we're most afraid to try.
So tell us the anecdote he shared, because it's a great example of how to do it without being confrontational.
Yeah, he had a neighbor whose dogs would bark late at night. So instead of just getting angry about it, he went over and had a polite, direct conversation. He framed it around his needs.
So what did he say?
Something like, hey, my bedtime is at 8:30, and when the dogs bark, it makes it really hard for me to sleep. Would you be okay with putting them in their kennel before then?
That's a great way to put it. It's not an accusation, it's a collaborative request.
Exactly. And he offered a gesture of good faith in return. The neighbor agreed, problem solved. It's about taking proactive control of your environment.
But if that's not an option, there's always the tech solution.
Absolutely. A good noise machine. Using white, brown, or pink noise creates this consistent sound blanket. It doesn't eliminate the loud noise, but it smooths out the peaks. So a car horn or a dog bark doesn't jolt you awake.
So when we tie all six of these together, it really comes back to that cultural idea we started with. This idea that needing less sleep makes you tougher or more dedicated.
And that narrative just has to change. The opposite is true. Choosing to get restorative sleep, that's not weakness. It's one of the most powerful things you can do for your performance, for your health, for your mood. It's an act of wisdom.
Yeah, and the sources really drive that home. Johnson's final thought on it is that by getting 8 hours of sleep, you're being a hero to yourself, to your family, to your friends, your loved ones.
You're just a better version of yourself. You move from constantly managing a deficit to actually living at your potential.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you, the learner, with a direct challenge. We've talked about 6 habits: eating too late, having no mental transition, afternoon caffeine, bright evening light, a hot bedroom, or letting noise win. Of those 6, which one single habit will you commit to changing starting tonight to become that hero to your future self? Think about it. What's the one tweak that could change everything for you tomorrow?